Welcome to the Sports Daily early look on WATC Derby Day, the big Group 2 feature over the 2,400 metres. We'll get into that. We'll take a look at the old COMRADE Stakes as well on a big Saturday at Ascot. I'm Taylor Cortland and I'm joined by Digby Beecham.
A very good morning to you, TC. Looking forward to this meeting out there at Ascot on Saturday. I think as much as some of the field sizes are small, there's still some intriguing races to work through.
Small Derby field, but a competitive Derby field.
It is, and you're either with the boys, I dare say, or the girls, and you've got a fair few of those runners from the Oaks progressing. In fact, you've got three, and then you get Celebrity Icon as well, and then you get this Eastern State Raider, Awesome John, out of the John O'Shea yard, a last start place getter in a Tulloch, which has since produced an Australian Derby winner.
As we take a look at the Tab Touch market, at the time of recording, Awesome John is at $3.20. He's at the top of the market. She's Fit at $3.40, your Oaks winner. Another Chino, $4. Demolish at $8.50. $9 about Playhouse Patron, $20 and up the remaining three. First of all, before we zero in on a couple of the fancies, we'll take a look at the speed map, and I think we'd be surprised if either Demolish or She's Fit doesn't lead. Awesome John, the favourite in the market, where he settles is interesting. I sort of thought there's half a chance he ends up outside the leader from that wide draw, but I think you have a different opinion.
Yeah, look, I wasn't entirely sure how this is going to map out, this race, TC. It could well be muddling. Let's hope it's not as muddling as what we witnessed in the Oaks a fortnight ago, but Burnbrae on that occasion led. I thought maybe Demolished could find himself there by default, and therefore She's Fit could perhaps be leaders back. Now, she has landed there previously and she's run okay from there. And the other day when the pace did come off, Chris basically pushed a button and took up the running, and then he had Admiration Express for company to his outside. I thought if that was the case, you would have Awesome John perhaps being one out, two back. I thought he would settle in front of Playhouse Patron. I thought he would settle in front of Celebrity Icon with the gate speed that he's shown previously. Then it becomes a battle of tactics. Is he going to be position A with a one out, two back position if Chris is tucked away behind the leader and therefore William can go when he wants and Chris might be dictated too? I think that's the intriguing part of this race.
Awesome John will zero in on his form. He comes out of the Group 2 Tulloch at Rose Hill 2 weekends ago. On that occasion, he was only half a length behind the winner. Just in front of him, was Major Bill's come out and won the Australian Derby. So form reads fairly well. William Pike jumps in the saddle.
Yeah.
Does get quickly to 2,400 metres, but Sydney form, it reads irresistible.
It reads really well, doesn't it? Now, he is a son of Awesome Rock, who was victorious, I think, over 2,000 metres out of an O'Reilly mare. So you'd be surprised if he doesn't tick that 2,400 metre box, and we see often in derbies and Oaks with these 3-year-olds that they can sometimes run that mile and a half even though they might not be out-and-out stayers. And he has to tick that box yet. We know that She's Fit has, and you could argue that Burnbrae and Megami have also ticked that box given they've been over the mile and a half. He gets every favour to do so. He's travelled over well. He's settled in well to his new surrounds in Simon Miller's stable. He gets the services of W. Pike, so there's a fair few things in his favour.
She's Fit won the Oaks last starts over the 2,400 metres, so she is one that has ticked that box. I love the fact in her last couple of starts she's been pretty push-button. Chris has been able to manoeuvre her wherever he really needs her. I think she's a better chance if she lands in front than on the back of the leader, so she's able to get going when Chris wants to. She's not dictated to. But I think either way she's got to be a massive hope, despite the fact that Oaks was run at a really slow tempo.
So what do you do there? Do we disregard that win because they went so slowly, or do we say no, she was nice and strong through the line, pulling away from opposition to win by 1 3/4?
I took the opinion that even the quicker they go over at 2,400 metres, I think she's going to be even better.
Okay.
Because I think she's a genuine stayer.
One horse that we do know can be strong at the back end of a fast run race is another Chino. What do we do with him? He gets a weight pull on some of his opposition that he's been meeting previously, that being Demolish and also Playhouse Patron.
I took a little bit of a set against the boys just because I think they are all tied together so closely. There's not much between them. Last start in the Melvista, another Chino, I think, won that race on the back of a brilliant ride from Brad Parnham. If Brad's ride is a 9 out of 10 as opposed to a 10 out of 10, maybe Demolish hangs on and wins.
Okay.
Playhouse Patron probably just didn't quite get that tag into the race that he would have really liked. but he's able to reel off the best final 6, 4 and 200 metre splits of that race. So you'd think 2,400 metres will suit him.
I had Playhouse Patron on top last start, and
So
he
did
didn't, and we both did. And he wasn't horrible. He wasn't horrible on that occasion. He still, to my eye, looked like he did hit that flat spot, which he has been battling with in his races. He had blinkers fitted on that occasion. I just wonder with his racing pattern and the fact that he does sometimes just go a little bit mediocre around that 800, 600,000 metre mark, whether Ascot's his track, whether he needs a Belmont or a longer straight with which to operate and wind up. In saying that, he has been hitting the line well. 10 goes at the track, though, no wins. So there's somewhat of a concern there. I thought another Chino and Awesome John were the way to go, and that's the way I'm betting, re-strategy-wise in this. I'm having 25 on another Chino who's chasing a fourth successive win. I think he's got the local boys covered, and then you get the influx of Awesome John, who's bringing group form from Sydney, and Sydney autumn form for the 3-year-olds is pretty strong at this stage. I just thought maybe she's fit, given she's coming out of slowly run races, is somewhat of a risk at that price, but I can understand why people are tipping her because she has ticked that box.
I'll be tipping her. I'll just be having $50. She's fit. We were with her in the Oaks and she got the job done, so I'll stick fat. And I think we speak about the speed of the Oaks, so at 3.40 as we record, I think we'll get closer to $4. I'd be surprised if maybe we don't even get $4 on the day. So from that perspective, I think we bet late and we can bet with a little bit of confidence around She's Fit. But a very interesting Group 2 SCHWEPPES-W.A.T.C Derby this year. Race number 8 on the program, the second of the features, the listed Old COMRADE Stakes over the 1,600 metres. And we'll take a look at the market before we go any further. 280 and really well supported at the top of the market is Weapon Sun. MTA at 480, Creator at 550, $7 and $7.50 respectively. Last of the line and playing at MARIKA. Speed map perspective, the Old COMRADE, shades go on Cheval de Varga, should be forward. MTA should be in the first 3 or 4. Weapon Sun, I think they'll try and throw themselves forward. And playing MARIKA, the last start winner, settles in a very similar position as she did last start, probably 3 back the fence. Some of the key players from a speed map perspective, if you have any queries with that, Diggers?
No, I thought that Cheval de Varga, with the shades going on, he's a high speed, free running animal, isn't he? And I think that Holly Watson has created a name for herself as being able to get horses out of the gate and get them rolling along and get them running fraction after fraction after fraction. I suspect that will be the tactics aboard this Merrill Haley trained gelding. And I thought maybe Weapon Sun could come across, and then you're trying to find out who's in behind. And the market support for Weapon Sun would suggest that the Smarties are expecting Weapon Sun to be racing all over the speed.
Possibly the fly in the ointment is Big Butter Boom. It's very tough to sort of map this horse. He's got his quirks.
Yeah.
But from gate 2, we've seen him lead in the past over the 1,600 metres. He can bowl along, so if he does get out of the gates from gate 2, I think that might spell a little bit of danger for Weapon Sun. He might have to work a little bit too hard to find the breeze or even the top, or worst case scenario, might have to do it a little bit wide. But we'll start with the form of Weapon Sun. He's at the top of the market. I didn't expect him to come up this short. He opened at 380. He's into 280. But he's racing really consistently. My question is whether or not that 72 plus form beating Birdie Eagle by a length and a half is strong enough now to make the step up to Old COMRADE Stakes.
Yeah, exactly. And the start prior losing to Birdie Eagle. So, yes, this is a jump up in grade. He is down 4 kilos. He gets the services of W. Pike, and he's out of an inform yard. So there are a fair few things in his favour. He's going to have a tactical advantage in the run on some of his opposition, clearly, and that's why the market support is there. But for mine, he was north of $4 as well. But he opened in the 3s, and he's now sub-3, so it's been one-way traffic.
MTA, last start in the Grandstand Cup, was very good. Ran second on that occasion of playing MARIKA. I thought was just probably held up enough to affect his finishing position for a horse that doesn't really have a change of speed. He's more of a grinder.
Yep.
Now I think lands 1-1, and that's probably going to be in his favour, and Chris will get a chance to take off when he really wants to.
Any concern that he hasn't won at this trip?
Yes.
Okay, but he does get the run, you're right. And I think
he's going very well.
He is going well, and you're right, he's better drawn out than he was down low, where he sort of had to wait, and then he got to the front, but he didn't sort of explode to the front, did he? And then he was gobbled up by Playing Marika. It must be said this mare, who is rising 8 out of Steph Backrenich's yard, wonderful first up performance. I thought she'd get a very similar run to what she did the other day. And watching the replay a few times since then, she was even held up ever so slightly in the straight, but she still was able to extricate herself. Stephen Parnham gave her a peach once he got clear, and then she savaged the line. I thought it was a terrific effort. She rises a couple of kilos, yes, but for mine, drawn low, 3 back the fence, good tempo, likely. She ticks a few boxes for mine.
Certainly, and is a winner second up, Playing Marika. To couple in a couple of the runners, Creator and Last of the Line. Do we give Last of the Line another chance? And Creator, very unlucky last start.
Yeah, he was. He continues to race without a great deal of good fortune, Creator. I think this barrier is a good one for him because ultimately CJP is going to be able to pick his poison. He is going to know exactly which horse he has to follow. He's going to settle in a rearward position. And if they do it too much up front, you would think that Creator is going to be strong late. Last of the Line has to carry 59 kilos again. He's third up. He's up to a mile. I think you're right. He's going okay. I'm just wondering if he can continue to give these horses weight like he has been and then give them a beating. I'm not sure he can.
No, I was probably in that same boat. A betting strategy for the old Comrade Stakes.
Yeah, look, I'm thinking as we sit here this morning, the 750 for Playing Marika is good value. As I said, she does rise the 2 kilos, but she's proven at this track, she's proven at the trip, and clearly off what we saw in the trial and what we saw first up, she's going particularly well. I'm happy to have $25 on her, and I wanted to be with Creator at his next start. I thought he was really, really good the other day. He was luckless late. Is he going to be able to be strong at the back end of a strongly run mile? That remains to be seen. But again, he's around that each way quote. I'll have $25 on him.
I'll just have $50 straight out on MTA, but I'm with you diggers in my market. Weapon Sun was north of $4. So come race time, if Weapon Sun stays around that 280, I'm pretty happy to take him on and back a couple of the runners around Weapon Sun in the old Comrade Stakes. Race 8 on the program at Ascot on Saturday. We'll be back again next Thursday. Of course, it's for Quokka Day, Karrakatta Plate, Amelia Park, Karrakatta Plate Day, and also the Joey takes centre stage on a massive day of WA racing next Saturday.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.